I'll admit, I was worried about that game. You go into it, Spurs have been our bogey team for the last few years now. I looked at that Spurs starting lineup. That didn't make me feel any better. They had a lot of physical players, especially in that midfield, and I thought they could make it a long afternoon for us. And for the first sort of 30-odd minutes of it, it was a very even game. United and Spurs going toe-to-toe, and you didn't really know who had the upper hand. Obviously, that red card completely changed this game, and United did what they had to do. They got a very early goal with a set piece. Second half, they were playing with their food a little bit. We eventually got the job done, and 4 wins in a row now under Carrick. What has this guy done to us? But let's get into it, guys. My 5 talking points from the game up against Spurs. Drop a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into it.
Go! Let's go, let's go, let's go!
So first off, talking about that red card, because at first I was looking at it thinking, if that was a United player, I thought that was a bit of a harsh red card. But the more I seen the replays and from different angles, it does actually make sense. Especially given the player that you know Romero is. You know that Romero is that type of player who loves to leave his foot in there. And he likes to do those sort of challenges. We've seen it multiple times now. The fact that he's a captain of Spurs, I mean, it says a lot about the state that they're in right now. But it wasn't until that red card that United really started to get the upper hand in this game. So thank you to Romero, because without it, it could have been a very different result. And then secondly, going to talk a bit about Kobbie Mainoo, because week after week now, we've seen Kobbie Mainoo starting games for United, and it just makes the whole Amorim decision to not play him, to stick with that 3-4-3, more and more farcical as time goes on. Kobbie Mainoo is exactly the player that I thought he was. When he wasn't playing games, I had people telling me that he wasn't that good. Defensively, he's a liability. It's absolute nonsense. He's one of the best young midfielders in world football, and that still stands. I think he's still only 20 years of age. The fact that Ineos were willing to sell Mainoo to back Amorim, and that just in something that you call a project, I mean, it absolutely doesn't bear thinking of. Like, I'm glad the United eventually came round to the right way of thinking, however they did it. But Mainoo, playing week in, week out now, I mean, you're seeing the best of him. Passing, absolutely top. Defensively, he still contributes just as much as anyone. I mean, again, the fact that United weren't playing him for so much of the season, absolutely brain dead. And then thirdly, going to talk about United and the set pieces. Because everyone talks about Arsenal and how they are the kings of the set piece. But United are starting to get right up there challenging them for that now. Again, we got the first goal in this game from a really clever worked set piece, and United have really worked on that so far throughout the course of this season. It was there under Amorim, it really kept him in a job at times. But United, both defensively and offensively, have been much improved throughout the course of this season. Because it was only a couple of seasons ago where we couldn't score from a set piece at all. We had that record from corner kicks, so we just couldn't buy a goal. But now, all of a sudden, we're one of the best in the league. But I just want that to continue now, because I've spoken about it with Casemiro coming out to this team in the future. Are you going to keep that sort of height in your team to keep that threat from these set pieces? United obviously need to work on that now in the summer transfer window. But the set pieces has become such a pivotal part of everything in the Premier League right now. You can see that with Arsenal. So the fact that United are keeping up with them is nothing but a good thing. And then penultimately, talking again about Martinez, because I spoke about him in a recent video that I did and spoke about United sort of squad building with him and how important he sort of is to United right now. And again, he highlighted that in this game. He didn't have a ton of defending to do, but fair play to him and Maguire, because they didn't allow Solanke to really win anything up the top end of the pitch. That was even before the red card. But Martinez, it wasn't just that sort of tenacity that he has in his defending. Once again, his passing from centre-back, I mean, I don't think there's many players in that position that can rival him in terms of that passing ability. I did see someone on Twitter saying that he actually finds passes that even when you're watching it on telly, you don't think is possible. But Martinez finds them. And it's obviously him staying fit now is going to be a big part of United for the rest of the season. And that partnership with Maguire, obviously having the physical dominance that Maguire brings, having Martinez next to him, perfect foil for him. I just need the two of them to stay fit now, because defensively we've been very much improved, but also as well offensively Martinez gives you so much. Some of those incisive passes through the middle of the pitch, There's not many midfielders that are going to pick them out, and we've got a centre-back that's doing it. So, I mean, just fair play to him. And lastly now, highlighting again Michael Carrick, because the work that he's done so far, I mean, just simply putting United into that back four shape, getting more attackers on the pitch, having width. You've got Ahmad one side, it's largely Luke Shaw holding the width on the other side, but you've got constant interchanges in attack. You've got Mbeumo Cunha constantly making runs. You nearly always have someone stretching the play and someone dropping deep. And it's the constant interlinking rotations that just causes carnage for the opposition. But I think there's still a lot that we don't really know about Carrick's team as well. And that's what I wanted to bring up in this sort of last talking point, was because in that first sort of half hour of the game, there were parts where I really didn't like. Spurs still played through the middle of United far too easily at times. So we're going to see tougher challenges. The red card did massively help United in this one. So despite obviously United having those 4 wins in a row under Carrick so far, there's still so much that we don't quite know about Carrick's setup and how he's going to work it out in certain games. Because up against Fulham, they asked us a lot of questions. And I think Spurs would have in this game as well. Again, if it wasn't for that red card. But so far, I mean, you can't complain. 4 wins from 4. And United now looking at even more. The guy might even get to cut his hair soon, because we've got that game up against up against West Ham Tuesday night, and we obviously know that's more than winnable, that game. So United now, we're going into it with a ton of confidence. The attacking play has been off the charts so far. I mean, simply just getting all those attacking players on. You've got Seshko to come off the bench as well. United have been much improved in that area. Defensively, much improved. But there is still a lot to work on. And I think Carrick will know that going into these next future games now. But, I mean, you can't really ask much more of him at the minute. 4 wins from 4. United settling into that top 4 spot. Long may it continue. There we are, guys. There was multiple other good performers in this game. Casemiro, I thought, again, was very solid. I thought both fullbacks were very good. Fernandes, again, I mean, you can't ask much more from him. Another goal in this game. Overall, just constantly creating problems for the opposition. Other attackers, I mean, Cunha and Mbeumo, Ahmad, they didn't have the best of games in this one. They were a little bit sloppy at times. But that just goes to show how much attacking quality the United have. These players can have a bit of an off game, but we still have more than enough threat to get United comfortably over the line. But it was that red card that massively did change it in this one. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll catch you in the next one. Probably tomorrow when I'm going to do a bit of a tactical breakdown for this game. So I'll see you there.